Got nothing though.
All right, what is up, everyone? Welcome back to Quick Sticks. We are back with the boys. First episode of 2023.
Hey,
We're back with the boys. How we doing, gentlemen?
all good. All good.
Doing well, man.
Ready to get back to it, man. Definitely missed this.
Yeah, so it's been a while. We were just reminiscing about the Water Dogs Championship, but it feels like it was a year ago in my mind.
Yeah,
But
not to me. Not to
I'm
me.
ready for it to happen. Well, so we got a few things to talk about. First, though, we did want to talk about Sam's inability to cover the pick and roll in NBA 2K. So, James, I will turn it over to you.
Sam's played basketball his entire life. Still doesn't know how to guard the pick and roll in 2K. You have to either allow enough space for the defender to get through or fight over top. He does
Sure.
neither. So that means all my options are open.
Sam,
Mhm.
30 seconds for rebuttal.
James played a great game. Didn't rotate fast enough, and he definitely made the shots that he needed to make to win. It helps having Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, James Harden, Ben Simmons, like the All-Star team.
I mean, the first
your
part,
team,
the
but-
first 10 seconds of that
but-
actually sounded like a post locker room speech.
Yes.
Like
Yeah,
after a
and
loss, but
like saying something but not saying anything.
yeah.
Also, just for the record, he had the Warriors the second game, and I won anyway, so it doesn't matter. That's a deep point.
Well, that's not what we're here for. That was mainly
It's
a joke.
not.
So we did want to talk about obviously the championship series, which just ended on Sunday. You guys were actually in attendance on Saturday, so I'm very curious. How was it? What were your thoughts?
Shout out Joe Keeks.
Yeah, shout out Joe Keeks. He actually came up to us and was just like, happy to meet you guys in person. And I don't know why. No offense to Joe. I thought he was taller. So when he came up, I was like, wow, this is the.
I was
athletic
just
guy.
shocked he recognized us.
Like, come on, that's relative.
Yeah, I guess. But no, it was great seeing Joe. But past that, man, I think the PLL knows how to put on a party. I mean,
Yeah.
the behind the net thing, like the unlimited drinks for some people, they had a bar in the middle, they had cornhole, they had like a brick oven pizza place right there. I mean, it was ideal. And the St. James facility is one of the most impressive facilities I've seen in Northern Virginia, definitely the DC area. So
It was really cool. It's like
Awesome.
it's like Lifetime on roids essentially,
Yes.
but the way they set up the infield, like in the whole, all the processes inside that little area in the turf field, like was super impressive. There wasn't like anybody wanting seats. Like, I don't know, it was packed when we went. There was
Because I saw bleachers there, obviously, but you guys looked like you were field level. Were you just like
there was
walking
like
around
behind, I guess, home team, like whoever was home, I guess, starting on that side of the field.
yeah.
They had like what they called bar down, the bar area.
Mm.
And so like
Come
Come
such a
on,
good
man.
name. Such a good name.
Marketing's so good.
I know,
so
right?
good.
Like it wasn't the best view, but they had a giant
Yeah.
TV that we basically got to watch, like, because we didn't have the best view, obviously. But
Yeah.
even so, dude, it was well managed, well run. Like, you weren't we didn't wait at all for drinks. Like there wasn't ever a line or for food or anything. So
Not at all.
it was great.
And I think the last part that was really cool for us was all the players had to walk through where we were, like at the end. So like obviously I had a fanboy because Jay Carlson and Kyle Burnlow walked behind us. I was like, hey Kyle.
Hi, Kyle.
But it was cool to see all the guys like walk over. And I think there was Maryland guys, like the Maryland team was right next to us because they all had like I love you Logan signs. And it looked like the starting Maryland guys were there from the lacrosse team too. So it was just a great environment. It was crazy. A lot of fun.
So as far as the format of the game, so if you got anyone who doesn't know, so this league, it was top 4 teams from the regular season. They played in a round robin tournament, and the format was 66. It was not 10 versus 10.
And no long poles.
And no long
All
balls.
shorters.
And no
Yeah,
face-offs no face-offs after goal.
Correct.
Yeah.
So how was it? Because I assume it's much faster than even normal PLL, but
It is.
I thought like box was the fastest for lacrosse, but this is at least twice as fast as box in terms of offense and like just possessions and movement. At least it was it was really cool to see as like a new form of lacrosse for me.
Yeah. Yeah, for new fans, I think it's I think it's ideal. I think it was hard because you didn't have time to celebrate a goal. Like Romar pins the corner and you look up at the screen, and by the time the other goalie's ranking out the next goal, and you're like, wait, what happened there? So it was like hard to keep up.
I know. I don't like no sellies.
I know, especially like after Chris Gray, like
which was the play of the tournament, I think.
That was
it was in my opinion.
I don't know. See, that's what's tough about this one. There was so many.
There were a lot of highlights, but that
highlight plays.
Just the last 2 minutes of the championship game.
Oh yeah, that was.
I mean, Romar was hitting.
Caraway's 2-pointer with a minute, 52 minutes left.
Fucking fadeaway 2-pointer.
His step, his step back 2-pointer was also a highlight. Like that was crazy.
But yeah, there were some where there were pump fakes and just hesitations, and you'd see the defender go flying by.
Oh yeah,
it was just so much fast. And lacrosse, like especially too, is it might like I feel like some people who don't watch the sport think it looks slow on TV. It's so much faster watching in live.
Oh yeah, it's insane.
So I can't imagine how fast this was to see in person.
Well, because one thing is you would see somebody that looks open, but by the time they got the ball, like they weren't. Like they're like, oh, he's so open. But like, there's not that much space. These guys close so fast. Like
that I was talking about this with Sam yesterday. I mean, dude, like defensively, it changes so much because we were talking about Romar, for example. Like as a defender, you are stepping out on Lamar at midfield because this dude is hitting 2-pointers from the logo.
You're beat if you don't.
Yeah, so it's like you're stretching the field so much farther on the defensive side of the ball.
But like 100%. That's what. I think it was, playing whips that first game. Like the first few times they gave it to Romar and he does his split dodge. Like you just saw the guy just hold his stick out to hopefully get some defense on, but obviously it didn't work. And then they pushed further up as the tournament went on. But that was for everybody. Like everybody on every team was like, if they got a foot of separation, that's a shot. Or you normally don't see that. So it was, it was definitely super fun for the offensive minded people wanting to see a lot of goals and that sort of thing. Because even with how fast it was, I wasn't expecting what the score was at the first game, right? Like 30-20 or something like that.
Oh yeah, no way.
That was a bit much, but then that became like kind of the norm over the weekend.
Yeah, I mean, I was glad that the other games ended up being higher goals, so that people weren't like, "Oh, this was so insane."
Yeah,
like we're never going to see this. But I think one thing I want to note on is this whole goalie thing, and I want to get your guys' take before I say mine. Do you guys feel bad for the goalies that played in this series?
No, I think it was a great experience.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think exposure-wise, it was good. So I was going to talk about this in a second because, so I want to preface by saying I love the idea. So Paul Rabel put out a statement saying the reason for this league was he really wanted to focus on giving the players more opportunities to play and make money this year. So it's a genius idea. I think it got a good response overall.
Yeah.
But I think obviously the 2-point line needs to be moved back, and we can talk more about that. But I would actually, after seeing it, I would be in favor of making a smaller goal, almost like mini sticks, like not that size, but just the premise of mini sticks. Because
I get you. Yeah.
So I get the idea of like wanting to make lacrosse more exciting for people who might not watch it, and you want more goals, faster game. But dude, 30 goals, that's a football score. Like that, I mean, the shooting percentages were outrageous for some of these games.
It's kind of tough to hear that because I feel like we're almost negating how talented these guys are.
I'm not taking them away, but think about, you're making the field a lot smaller.
Right.
You have no deep holes in front of you, and the goal is the same size. So you have guys getting clean shots closer.
Mm-hmm.
Your defense can't be stretched that thin, or else it's super easy to get around them like it was because these guys are so talented.
Right.
But so yeah, I feel bad for the goalies. That some of those goalies were getting absolutely shelled.
So, I don't. Yeah. Go ahead, Sam. I want to get your take on the goalies.
I think it was great in terms of like experience. Yeah, they might have get peppered with shots, but that also just more playing time, get the reaction time and get people's like kind of shot down, because now they have film on shots from all over the place, and now they they'll use that to their advantage and whatever they can. But in terms of, yes, I think they need to extend the 2-point line way too close, especially James, like you're saying, with the caliber of players.
Yeah.
Because like every time someone got the ball, if like you're paying attention, it'd be like, oh, so and so all-time leading scorer for your midfields at UVA, like Jake Caraway or something like that, or Doxson, right? Doxson. And then there's someone else like, oh, 4-time All-American at Johns Hopkins, and then it's like, but then everybody's on that level. So, I didn't think about it, but when Matt just what he just suggests is like, I don't think it needs to be a mini sticks goal.
Well, no, that'd be way too small.
It would be way too small, right? But like, kind of like in between, find some like middle ground, if you will, between regulation, field
like
lacrosse, and
so
maybe like a sixes goal.
Yes, and like
just make a sixes goal.
You also had some of the biggest names in lacrosse not play in this tournament. Like, imagine if Matt Rambo and some of these guys had played. It would have been a field day.
I think Rambo might have shot 80%. I'm not kidding.
But so I feel bad for the goalies, but in retrospect, obviously it's great practice for them. So I think, like Sam said, they'll use it to their advantage. But I don't know. I kind of felt bad for him some games.
So
I did.
The only reason I didn't is because these guys are such good shooters. Did you guys see any goalies getting hit in the shins? Or
no,
any goalies
absolutely not. They're picking corners.
Yeah.
Or
like when it's a make. I mean, these guys are the best at avoiding the goalie. Like
and that's the only solution I would see to that is because they can paint corners is just making the goal smaller.
Right.
Yeah, just slightly.
Well, I was only saying that line to say like the goalies, like I feel bad for goalies when they have bad shots that hit them in bad places. Right. But like if you're getting peppered, but the goals are the ball's going up top or like bottom corners, like they're not getting hurt. They're just seeing shots.
I'd be interested to hear someone's take then. Like we got to get.
So they interviewed.
I didn't see that.
Maybe Scanoni or maybe Krebs, and he said like basically this is just a reaction time tournament. He said I love it, like cross crease. I mean,
that makes me scared for Scanoni because that man.
I mean, we can get into that, but one thing I wanted to say about the Romar thing is this league showed why we blitz those kind of guys. Like Romar's entire game is different when the slide is coming right at his face because he has to go either further out or it changes his angle. And like this sport is so different when you're dodging downhill and there's no slide coming at you. I mean, it's like
what he basically just used it.
Right. But like, remember when Romar's normally dodging, there's not only a slide coming here, there's a defender coming across to kill this attackman. And there wasn't that in sixes. So like the two biggest risks about dodging downhill were like gone. So like, of course, Romar put up done numbers. But I think one thing I don't like about the 2-point conversation is like, we're talking 2 yards. It's not like it's a huge gap. So like, I think it was too close, but like, is there really that much of a difference between a 15 and a 13-yard shot?
I think if the goalies are saying it's a reaction time, there's a little bit, but not much.
I mean,
I would say at this level, yes.
Like, when the ball's traveling 120 miles an hour, it's not making.
If you're talking maybe like high school, college, probably not because like they don't shoot that fast. But like 2 yards in pros makes a difference for goalies, I would say.
So would we say that we would want a 15-yard if we were going to move it into college? Because at some point that's going to happen. So would you guys say 15?
I would just replicate it.
Because 15, like I don't think people understand how far that is. You're winding up at 17. You crow hop at 17.
That also makes 2-pointers like just that much more like a huge momentum shift on the hip.
I just when I mean, even we were talking about it with Keegs, like we're making it sound like it was 10 yards and 15 yards. You know, like it's a 2-yard difference. And it's crazy that it looked like Romar was shooting from 7 yards out, but like at the end of the day, he's pulling from 15 and letting it go at 13. Like people forget it's a crow hop. So, it's just interesting that like that much of a difference made people say like, oh wow, that's way too close. It's just interesting. That's all.
Yeah, no, actually the more we talk about it, the more I'm like, I don't think it would make the difference people would think it would make.
I think the slides are much more like a bigger difference in the 2-yard gap.
Oh, for sure.
I think if someone's coming at Caraway, someone's coming at Docs, like those release angles are different when a pole's coming at your hands. You have to go sidearm, and you have to remember when we talked to McNeil and he talked about Romar and Rabel being able to go so far down the wing and pull it across. they do that to avoid that slide that comes at you. And like, you know, that was hard to do in sixes, but just my take on them.
Well, do you
I
think
like
they
it.
would introduce 1 or 2 long poles into it?
I think that would change everything about sixes.
I mean, it absolutely would.
Yeah.
I mean, no, I generally just think I don't want this conversation to take away from like we are literally seeing the best lacrosse players in the entire world. You know, like
Well,
this
that
would be
was
like,
evident.
you know, if we move the 3-point line up, even
I
that
think-
little amount for the NBA, like yeah, we see the same kind of numbers just because these are literally the best shooters in the world.
Yeah. I think sixes like this, if it stays kind of like a winter tournament,
Yeah,
separate or not separate, but just like different season. I
Sure.
think we'll start to see, you know, kind of those like two-way athletes peak during this
Mhm.
tournament, like the whip snakes guy,
Warner.
Ty Warner, thank you, who just was just getting any goal he wanted on us, like the first two times we played him. And then Puglisi, I'm sorry, I can't pronounce his name.
Roman.
Oh,
Yeah.
Roman Puglisi.
Roman, dude, he
Yeah.
was an animal during this tournament.
Yeah, he had a
dude.
good tournament.
I mean,
So I
that's
think
why,
it like
go ahead.
you just see like the defensive middies. Like this is a tournament where, you know, if you have a new guy, you don't know how he's going to do
Yep.
from the draft or something, throw him in
Yep.
here, let
So
him
that's
grind it
that's
out.
exactly
So,
how I feel. I feel like it's a
Yeah.
great tryout tournament. Like
Yeah.
if I'm looking for two-way guys, run in the sixes. Let me see how you do. And
Mhm.
we had guys like Drake Porter, you know, the goalie, who got to see PLL shots. So like,
Yep.
what is that going to mean when they are at 15 and he's already seen these shots? Like from a trial perspective, fantastic. And I don't even know. Did we talk about the payouts yet?
Mm,
don't
I didn't
know.
realize the
No.
championship. So every player got I think 5 Gs for playing, and then the
Oh.
championship teams got I think three Gs each. So like
mm.
that last minute of that game, like it you know there was some cheese.
No
on
wonder
the
they were
table.
celebrating.
Yeah,
Man.
exactly. Yeah, they were like I think it's 2,500 or 3K for all the guys that were on the championship team. So I feel like that little bit just made like like I'm not losing this. Like that's
Well,
that's
I also think, to go back to what you were saying a minute ago, like the part that might translate to the normal PLL field is going to be transition offense. Like obviously on
100%.
missed shots, not goals, but
100%.
like I mean, like you were saying, when you scored a goal, there was no hesitation. It was like, get your ass back on defense.
I know, man.
And
I
like
love some of
that's-
those breakout fast breaks. Like the
That's going to
one-on-ones with the
help
goalie.
normal PLL transition a lot, I think.
Yep. I mean, it's literally like a practice fast break. It's like those drills we used to do.
Yeah.
That's why I told Mark when he texted me. He said, "Do you like sixes?" And I said, "I feel like it looks like an indoor practice. Like,
Pretty
it looks
much.
like exactly what we did indoor. Like uneven 3s-on-2s, like that kind of thing." Now, Matt, I want to get your take on overtime. That was my question. What do you think they should do overtime for sixes? Right now, it's just straight sudden death,
Yeah.
and a lot of people do
Yeah.
not like that.
I think, I don't know. There's probably, I haven't put too much thought into this. There's probably some things that wouldn't work, but
Sure.
with how quickly goals can be scored, I would almost just be okay with putting like 90 seconds on the clock, or just like a minute or 2 minutes and just see what happens. Because it was like you were going back and forth so much. Sudden death is basically like how the NFL used to be. It was like
Yep.
you go down, kick a field goal, game's over.
It's true.
So
I
I don't
like-
know. I think a set time would be the only.
I think 2 minutes is perfect.
But if you did like sudden death, but if let's say it's Atlas versus Chrome, if Chrome goes down and scores, you give Atlas 1 possession to score and match, kind of like college football overtime. Like you could
like that.
You could find, like, if you miss, you basically lose if you don't score. That might be better.
I kind of like it because they already
I like
have
that.
have the shot clock built in, right? So which is
Mhm.
30 seconds, if I'm not. That's right, 30.
Yeah.
So you have 30 seconds, 2 minutes on the clock. Use one.
That's max
side
4
starts with it.
possessions.
Yeah, right. So that's max 4 possessions.
4 possessions total.
4
That's
possessions
right.
or 2
Yeah, yeah.
possessions each, right? You go down, one scores.
Well, not
come back,
max
score.
if they scored quickly.
But like, yeah, depending on how fast it
Oh,
goes,
yeah.
but like essentially you even out to, all right, both sides have 2 30-second possessions.
Yeah.
That's it. Basically use it to your
I'd say do that. Do a
advantage.
face off and put 2 minutes on the clock and just see what
Yeah.
happens.
So my final answer came to 3 minutes of overtime and then a Braveheart.
I've never seen a Braveheart, so I don't know what that
Braveheart is how we end tournaments in the summer. You literally just choose your best player. It's 1-on-1 with the entire field and the goalies.
So it's like penalty shots, basically.
No,
Yeah,
like it's 1-on-1, like you. Like
one-on-one.
Oh, like a defender.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
I thought
like,
it was just the shooter and the goalie.
No, what's great is like if you go down and you don't score, sometimes the goalie comes up with you and plays offense. So it's like a 2-on-0. It's a lot of fun.
That's kind of cool.
Like,
I like that.
Exactly. Imagine if they had like a super athletic pole who obviously still has a shorty or something against like a Matt Rambo, like that would be really sweet. But this is after 3 minutes of overtime. This is only if all of that came to.
So that the Braveheart is like sudden death if overtime is tied.
If overtime, yep.
I like that.
You choose your guy, I choose my guy. Apparently, this is how they used to do it.
Damn, that's like some gladiator, Trojan War
from Troy.
When we're at a tournament and there's like, it's a semifinals or something, and then like the refs say Braveheart, like it's really tough because every kid knows college coaches are here, and I want to be the guy, but you can also be the guy who like loses in front of like the entire camp, So it's awesome.
Oh, dude, that would be hype.
That'd be sick.
I'm not gonna. That'd be.
YouTube some.
Oh, for sure. That's
on. Let's get into the Chrome part. I'm interested about that.
About the Chrome.
Yeah. Like, what does this mean?
Well, congrats.
Let's turn it over to Sammy here.
Whatever. Good game. It was definitely, I think, the best game of the weekend. Like going into halftime,
post locker room speech shit.
Doing that or going into halftime. Normally we were up, or normally Atlas was up by 10 going into every game. It was a 1-point game going to half. Matt, you won the championship. Don't give me that face.
That's the game that mattered.
So it was a great game. Honestly, Scanoni happened. If I'm boiling it down to one player, that man is very good. Like. I'm kind of nervous for what the Chrome or how the Chrome looked going into the season because they looked like they didn't have any rookies on the squad. Like I know they don't after last year, but like Wisnauskas and Malloy and all those guys, like they are still pretty new.
Yeah,
like,
Logan's a problem.
And,
Logan,
and that's what I'm saying. And
like,
he's
a bad man.
And he's doing what he's doing against like, I would say some of the vets of the league, Durkin, like, and the stuff that they let happen. Like, I don't know. It was a great game. I think the right team won. Like they wanted it more. We were dominating all tournament, and then this happened. So I think we lost steam. I think we lost the motivation to win. Honestly.
Wow.
But also, I think
that's a terrible.
No, but I'm changing subject to the Chrome, and I think this is just another good omen that is continuing from what we saw last year, building whatever culture they are building in that club. Like it's working.
It's true.
That coach, I'm forgetting his name, but he's doing a great job.
Sudan.
Sudan.
Yeah,
thank you.
I think.
Shout out Bryce. I think Chrome needed this especially after last season. Like there was so much hype around Chrome going into the playoffs, and then I got to hand it to Bryce. He did say he was like, "We're gonna see Chrome come back," and sure enough, we did. But I don't know. I mean, I was happy for Chrome. They played their ass off, and like you said, these guys. The newer guys, especially like Wisnauskas and Malloy. I mean, Malloy had a great year last year, but Wisnauskas turned that shit to a new level in this tournament.
Yeah, I feel like this Chrome back thing is really sticking with them because like they've done it in so many games. I think it was a testament to the number one problem I have with Atlas, and when Romar's not hitting his outside shots, you guys lost. The whole game he was hitting them, and you'd realize the last 3 possessions he missed the shots. Like that changes everything for your offense. And then I just had Scanoni. He's so good, and I think that people don't realize that Scanoni only played 1/2 of most of their games. So I feel like the Chrome have a much better tournament if he plays both halves the entire tournament. And
I did not realize that.
So if you notice, they kept him in the last 2 games, the semifinal game and the championship game. They didn't bench him at all. And I feel like that was a big change.
Did they do an MVP
Yeah, Romar got it.
of the tournament?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He got like the golden stick or something. He got, like,
Stick, yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. It kind of speaks to us really continuing to say like the young guys just didn't show up in the playoffs last year. It's not like they don't have it. They just didn't.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the Chrome are going to be here for a while, and I'm with Scanoni playing like this, man. I mean, they're going to be a huge problem.
Yeah.
This is before draft picks, so
it's some good momentum for them going in this year for sure.
Do you guys think they should change the rule on the shot chase outs? Because now it's a turnover in sixes, regardless of who's at the end line.
Like if they shoot it between shooting and passing, like regardless if it goes out.
So like when Romar was missing those shots, those were all turnovers. You know, there's no chase out in sixes. So like, do you guys think they should keep that? Or they should go back to the normal field rules?
I think I like the field rules in terms of like if the offensive guy is closest to it.
Yeah.
I kind of always like that rule, but
Me too.
I kind of get the sixes kind of keep the fast paced flow going. So
Yeah.
I don't know. It kind of like highlighted really bad shots. Like if someone came down and took like just a sloppy, last second, right? Like wasn't put everything in it. Like you could tell, and like it kind of like highlighted how bad of a shot it was. But like,
right.
It kind of after a while, how many shots were there in a game? Like 50, 60 per team. Like,
I don't know. But
so it kind of melted away in the background after a while.
That's true, just because it was so fast. But I think what you just said is 100% right. I think it's a coach's dream. Like missed shots, bad shots are literally a turnover right away. Like we always say that during the game.
I like that because it makes you think. Like if I take this 2-pointer, I better freaking make it.
I think it forces them to focus more on defensive matchups rather than like, forcing some guy to shoot and stuff. Like it forces them to try and hold that defense matchup for, I don't know, the 20 seconds, right? Because holding 30 seconds, like maybe we got 2 shot clock violations the entire tournament, like.
I mean, it's you never shot clock violations with Romar.
Exactly.
He was like,
I'm saying, like,
I'm about to
everybody,
Smith this.
Like the whole tournament, everybody playing, like there was like 2 or 3 that got called because, you're not going to shoot it. That's super hard to not get one off.
Oh, sure. I see what you're saying.
So, yeah. All right.
I'll take on that.
It's good feedback though. I mean, overall, I think it was fun. I mean, it sucks waiting from the championship to the draft just to get a little, PLL content. And then you're waiting like 7-8 months from championship to the next season. So, I mean, it's like you were saying, Sam, it's good, especially for the winter time when there's not a lot of sports going on. It's the best time of year to get people to watch it because there's nothing on right now.
Because Sam made a good point when we were at the tournament. Remember, they were on ESPN too. So I guarantee you, some people were just like scrolling and they were like, "What's this?" And then they're like, "Oh, this is crazy." And then,
I mean, if we weren't watching this, we'd be watching like the cornhole tournament.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. I don't know who watches that.
Airmail it.
Yeah, the ACL championship comes on in like 2 months. But anyway.
There it is.
All right. Well, that wraps up Championship Series. We also wanted to talk about over the last few months, there's been a few players and coaches who have unfortunately decided to step down or retire from the PLL. Guys like John Grant Jr., Stephen DiNapoli, Scott Ratliff, and Ryan Brown, which two of those
Rubio.
I think Ryan Brown's the biggest one.
For sure.
I think DiNapoli, like I think that's gonna hurt.
DiNapoli's
unless
big.
unless you guys replace him in the draft. But I'm just kind of sad that kids aren't going to see like such a pure shooter, like he just overhand left, right.
Well, especially like he had a good year last year, but he wasn't Ryan Brown last year.
Yeah.
So 100%. I get him wanting, like he's also played professional for a long time, so he had a great career. Like I get it, but it does suck because he was one of the best shooters we've seen in our lifetime.
Yeah, I mean, is the PLL not going to get to a point where like old heads are going to become just like kind of 2 bomb guys? Like you kind of just pull them in at the end of the game, and you eat a couple on that.
Honestly,
so.
yeah.
Because like they have enough
Maybe.
energy for that, drive, right, like do some mumbo, some picks down. Ryan Brown's like smoking a cig outside, pull him in, shoot the shot, get out of here.
Smoking a cig outside.
He has the highlight of like whipping it around the guy's head in like the first
I think
season.
Marcus Holman actually did that.
Was that Marcus Holman?
I think it was Marcus.
I don't remember that one.
But it was the Archers. It was Archers.
Yeah, I mean, obviously losing 2 starters hurts, but so I don't know. Our attack is going to be okay. I mean, our starting attack is still Kieran McCardle, Michael Sowers, and Ewok. So like that's still a very strong attack line. But like right now,
Water Dogs, criminal.
Right now, Water Dogs only have 1 reserve attackman. It's Charlie Kitchen. So I mean, like, because of Ryan Brown leaving, now attack is a need in the draft for them.
Yeah, you want some picks? We got some picks for you, bro.
You need those picks.
Sam loves talking about this.
You need those picks, all of them, even more than you have.
He loves talking about this for some reason. So
we need like 2 or 3, and we'll be good.
What do you need?
Draft pick, chemistry. Jesus.
It's true.
I mean, he's not wrong, but I think we got some of that this tournament. We also need. I think we need a Logan Wisnauskas on our team.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, we do too.
I'm just saying.
Wait, I want to play. Like what?
We get 2.
We have so many playmakers.
Chemistry.
That we need a attackman kind of a little bit bigger that T and Gray can feed to.
You need an Amari Cooper because they're the Cowboys. You guys lost that. And that's what you have.
Yo, I told
Sam I'm not discussing.
I told Sam this at the game. He was so mad. I was like, dude, you guys are the Cowboys. You guys are the Cowboys.
So yeah, I think. I mean, we have a great midfield, so we don't need any replacements there. We just need
well, Pat Spencer
bigger, stronger attack.
Certainly going to help.
No.
Yeah, that's happening.
Oh no!
Did you forget that was happening?
I did.
They have the #1 pick.
Yeah, dude.
That midfield line is going to be.
It's going to be dumb.
You know what? Just clip this. Just clip this, dude, because Sam's going to come up with some excuse.
Yeah, he will.
So just clip this.
Well, the Atlas also have a new coach now because Ben Rubior decided to step down. So, former assistant coach and friend of the podcast,
Coach Brooks,
Brooks is officially head coach of the Atlas. So, congrats to him.
Brooks.
Did they officially give it to him?
Yeah, they did.
Did they?
Well, they said he's going to be the head coach to start this season.
So my note about Brooks, man, is he had an interview after their second game, and he's holding like 6 sticks in his hand, and I think it was Ann Boyle was like, "Oh, coach, you bring 6 sticks like to every game," and he's like, "No, I don't believe in a hierarchy on my team, so I was just helping clean up the sideline." And I was just like, "Whoa, that's just
what's up?" I didn't
hear that. He doesn't have to do that. He's like, it's just like how my team works. Everybody gets water. Everybody picks up everything. So it's just kind of how I run my team. And I was like, yeah, I'm playing for you.
Yep. Yeah.
I'm playing for you. Like that's the kind of coach that would run wind sprints with you.
That's
like
that's what I was going to
say. Stay in shape. So
his passion, you could just tell during his interviews was on a different level. Yes. And to have a coach with that level of passion is just, I think it'll translate in some way.
He loves this sport, man. Like he lives and breathes this stuff.
Go watch our episode with him, man.
Yeah, I was ready to run through a wall, man.
It was, yeah.
He was so mad, like we stopped after 2 hours. He's like, wait, what? I thought we were going on with this.
I didn't realize that Boyle played against him too. They talked about that during the tournament.
Oh.
Did he really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was like I don't know how many years apart they were, but they were talking about him as a coach. Yeah, he played against him, right? Yeah, he said he's been that guy. So
yeah, I'm pumped. I think I think Ben Rubio is a great coach. I certainly don't think he was the issue with Atlas, but I don't know. I'm excited. I think Stephen Brooks, like you were saying, brings a certain energy and just a certain like mantra to the game. So I'm kind of stoked to see now that he's got the reins, what he's gonna do.
And him mic'd up is gonna be fun.
It is. And luckily, he's been there. Yeah. He saw Rubior come in and change the team like he was talking about when he was on the podcast. But he's seen enough to know what the issues are with this team.
Yeah, I mean,
I was
usually
very
he's-
glad
yeah,
they kept it in house and not brought someone else in.
because he already has the camaraderie and all that. I am curious what. So Marcus Holman's dad, who was the Utah coach, is now the Cannons coach. And they interviewed him at halftime at one of the games, and he said the day he got the job, he reached out to Lyle Thompson and called him and talked about like, what do you want this season? Like, how do you want the team to look?
That's
I was
genius.
Like, I was like, that is so good. He's like, we
damn it.
talked for like hours about like not only just changes, but like what Lyle wants to see when he comes around the cage. And I was just like, this is.
I mean, that's like what Bruce Arians did with Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Like, okay, we got you. What do you want?
Yeah. Or like
the Lakers did with LeBron.
I was gonna say the famous LeBron Kyle Korver story when he joined.
Oh yeah,
Kyle Korver said LeBron called him and said, "Do you like when the ball has backspin on it when you shoot your threes, or how do you like when you come at it?" And Kyle Korver was like, "I usually just catch the ball, man."
Like, I'll have the other attacker
However you give it to
fielders like bring Lyle the ball on a pillow just to load
Seriously.
up. I don't care, whatever it takes.
Seriously,
That's so smart.
I mean,
I think he probably reached out to Asher too, and just like,
yep. I was gonna say
Another friend of
that's a dangerous attack too. Damn it, dude! Like,
I mean,
I'm so excited.
Defense was
that
the
last
problem,
year,
man. I was gonna say defense is the problem, man.
Yeah. Poor
And
Jake
he-
Pulver's on an island back there, also a friend of the podcast.
Wow, we're
Just
just man.
name dropping.
He's crushing it right now.
Yeah, we're huge. So what?
So anyway, Max Wayne. But no, I think it's going to be really interesting to see the changes in coaching, because I think if anything I've learned specifically from doing this podcast is like how important coaching is in all sports. I mean, ask any Duke fan this year, what's actually different about Duke? Right? They have the same talent, they have the same athletes. Well, it's not a bad.
No, not a bad, but it's like,
just like
it's the best point you can make.
Oh shit,
Yeah,
Sam,
like-
I got you. So Coach K retired.
here we go.
Here we
Yeah,
go.
yeah,
Here we
yeah,
go.
yeah,
Here we
yeah.
go. Here we go. But like, I think it's so great hearing NBA players talk about Coach K, and like that's when I really realized like Coach K brings out the best in his players. I'm curious. Like, looks like Brooks can do that. I mean, obviously Holman has a lot of lacrosse in his family with his son, but you know, what is that going to mean? Him coming from Utah, like a newly D1 team over to PLL, a lot of changes. So I'm curious, and we're going to see results right away. We're going to know right away if it actually made a difference. So
Do you
I'm
think?
excited.
Do you think Holman's dad as a Cannons head coach has any effect on him wanting to be traded teams?
No.
You don't think so?
I did see the tweets that was, did we see Will Manny's or Holman's last game in an Archer's uniform? And I think Will Manny's going.
Well, I guess like, oh, you think Will Manny's gone?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's a loss right there.
I mean,
for
it is, but
Archers.
like people forget. Remember, he wasn't even playing that much at the end of the season.
That's true.
Well, and
Remember,
if,
he's just-
if the
he's just a
Archers have a
finishing guy.
surplus of anything,
Bro,
it's offensive firepower. They can afford
Like,
to get rid of.
Remember,
someone.
we talked about him for like MVP after the first 3 weeks, and then we just didn't talk about him.
Just dropped off.
I mean,
Yeah, because I mean,
was
this
he
is-
injured? I just can't. I can't
No,
remember.
he wasn't injured, but like he's not a creator. He's only a finisher. So when they didn't have Grant Ament to draw those slides, they needed to switch things up. So
You're right.
it's tough.
Right.
I mean, as you've known, you can't have a whole field of just guys who can finish. You know, like it's just not how lacrosse works.
Well, if the PLL has taught us anything, it's that we have no idea what's going to happen this season.
That is 100% fact.
There were so
Shout
many
out,
people
Bryce.
who said the Redwoods were a lock to make the championship, and it didn't happen.
This guy. I did. Yeah.
I think I was in one of those. So
Man,
Although-
I might go back and watch a game tonight. Yeah, I see.
Like, listen to this. If I told you that the Atlas had a score differential of plus 27 and didn't win the tournament, you would look at me with crazy eyes.
and the next highest was -1.
And exactly, Chrome had -6 and they won. Like, it's crazy. Yeah, this league is crazy. And like next year, I don't want to see chaos in this tournament. I don't want that smoke. Those
So
crazy
hold
ass
on.
Canadians.
That's going to be a whole separate episode if chaos enters this tournament.
Yeah, because you have one-on-ones with Josh Byrne. No,
No, you don't. You think you do,
you think
The
you
one on
that
want
man is gonna make his highlight tape just
Bro,
sixes.
dude.
Just six. He's
Josh
like,
Byrne in that league. Oh my
I'm
god.
saying, man, that is a nasty team to play for.
Like honestly,
and
like
like,
Dean Smith. Come on,
Also,
who's got him?
Blaze.
and
in
I
that
want to see
environment.
Blaze in net now. Now I want to see like
Yo,
the
Blaze
MVP
during
goalie,
sixes would be kind of
like
sick.
tempting
Those
outlet
someone to go
passes?
high.
Oh, that's so true. He'd be throwing like post route.
Dude, he'd be throwing at the entire field.
Wow,
Right?
that actually would be really sick.
So I wouldn't be surprised next year
Wow.
if we see this just expanded to the whole league. and they just say
it's hard because it's at the middle of the NLL season too. So like they're about to go.
That is true.
They're about to go
I
to
do
the
forget
playoffs,
that.
so that's tough. But I don't know. We'll see. But we did say, or Matt, we did say at the game, if we have like a home team for the NLL, I want their home place to be St. James where we were. It'd be so sick.
Is it really big enough for that?
Oh yeah. Yeah, they had plenty of space. Like they had built-in bleachers on one side, so they just got to like set up a second side, and they're good to go. Like the field is big enough for a box stadium. So,
and I think it's one of those places that you can just take a wall down and just keep making it bigger and bigger. Because we were like lot 1 through 7 just for the PLL, and like across the hallway was 3 volleyball courts, 2 ice rinks, and a climbing and a climbing gym.
2 full NHL regulation ice rinks.
Yeah. There was a hockey tournament and a volleyball tournament going on right next to each other.
And then at the end of the hallway was a massive rock wall. Like this place is massive.
And they have 2 indoor water parks too, and batting cages and virtual bays for golf, and then like a gym for people to work out in.
And a cafeteria.
It's a compound. It's truly a compound. It's huge.
Damn, I'll have to peep this place next time I'm up there.
Yeah, we can.
You just move back. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I'd love to. Tell them to lower the real estate prices. I will.
Yeah,
Oh, so real quick, they did announce what cities they'll be in. So
yeah,
we were talking about this before we jumped on, but notice DC was not on the list.
Hurt.
Sad, but true.
Really upset. I mean, we've been a little spoiled. We got championship semifinals and a weekend already in 3 years. So
yeah, it's weird to see a semifinal city just taken off, which I mean they are expanding to new cities, which is cool, but I thought DC was a lock.
So did I, man.
But Charlotte,
like Audi, or it would have been an Audi, I would assume. But it's such a great venue. The location of it too, like on the wharf, but not like right in the middle.
You know what? Maybe they told him like you can have it in DC, but it has to be at FedEx, and they were like, "We're good."
Yeah.
Is Snyder gone? That's probably the first question.
Yes. No. He's about to sell the team.
But it does like. I mean, it isn't. We have a Charlotte. There is Charlotte on.
Well, we have to go to Baltimore. We have to go to Homewood. Now, I will say,
I do want to come up for Baltimore.
I've never been to Homewood.
Little bash on Homewood. You remember what? Oh, Matt. So we ran into one of my buddies I played club with, and he went to Homewood.
Yeah.
And apparently, you basically can't drink on camera. Because I guess I don't know, it's because it's a college stadium, maybe they don't. So you have to drink like in the corners, like they have these like designated corners, and like you can't have it like in the stand. So he was like, Homewood's cool, but like he was like, dude, at Audi, obviously we were like sipping on.
That's interesting. I guarantee it's because it's a college stadium.
Yeah, because it's at a college stadium. But like it has that like allure of like a lot of people are from Maryland, like it's literally like them going back to high school. It's like the late lacrosse game, like they have all that like history. But as far as like PLL putting on the normal party they do, it sounds like it's not that ideal.
I would love to just people watch some Maryland Lax Bros in that stadium.
Oh, dude, come on.
It would be hilarious to hear the conversations.
Yeah. Oh my god.
So I was charging my Tesla.
We'll definitely be in Baltimore, probably in Charlotte again.
In Charlotte, for sure. We'll do Charlotte for sure.
And then the championships in Philly, we might 1 year we're gonna have to make that trip up.
I was gonna say, man, this might be the year. I think the league's gonna get huge this year, man. I really mean that.
Might be a good year. We'll see who's in it.
We don't we know?
What do we?
I mean, think it's gonna be a repeat?
Are we putting? Are we?
Is it way too early?
Right
way too.
I mean, it's definitely early, but unless someone wants to talk me out of it, I think
who's pre-draft championship picks? Not who wins, but who makes the championship.
Water Dogs Chaos.
Repeat.
Water Dogs Chaos. 100%.
Do you want me?
I'm going off this championship series. I think it might be Chrome Atlas.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Both of you.
I was actually gonna say Chaos Atlas. I think Chaos is a lock in my mind, but I think Steven Brooks is gonna handle his shit with Atlas.
I actually agree.
And
with
the addition of Pat Spencer is gonna help a lot more than people are realizing.
And this all changes when the draft happens too.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So I'm keeping the draft in mind. Not keeping the draft in mind, I would say Water Dogs Chaos probably. Or no, water dogs whip snakes. Water dogs whip snakes.
I can agree with that. Sam, yours was only a bad take because you based it on the championship series. Romar shot like 15% during the season. The championship series doesn't mean anything.
It's fair. And I was gonna make a point that what I made to
Oh, he
Joe
wasn't
Keeks
done. That's why.
is because I knew James had a rebuttal, so obviously I'm gonna have to sit here and argue it. Is that our biggest issue last year was offensive movement and getting shit initiated offensively. Like our transition D was good, cause turnovers was high, like we were fine there. The only thing was we slowed down in the third and fourth periods or third and fourth quarters, and just got stagnant on offense and kind of let opportunities pass us by. Really, like we were never bad on offense, we just didn't finish and score. So my whole point is like this draft getting a bigger attackman, but also this Sixes tournament just allowed us to focus on offense and kind of get our feet under us in terms of initiating offense, finding those seams that kind of weren't open. I know there wasn't any long pulls in there, but just getting the chemistry between Gray. I know Teat wasn't in, but getting Gris Gray in there and then having Caraway and
Did you say
Romar.
chemistry? Did you say chemistry?
I did, because you're right. I'm not going to say you're wrong in saying
you said I was wrong on the same podcast. This one. You said I was wrong when I said chemistry. I got the clip.
Yeah, find it.
I think your point is 100% valid with all that, but I don't think it does anything to help. Cannon cannot save anything else up. He can't. He's insane on the doorstep. He is literally insane.
There's no denying.
He proved it again. Yeah.
Like when they had the helmet cam on him, I was like, I don't know how this man does this. Like I can't see anything.
It doesn't make any sense.
That was, but I think, dude, the two bombs outside, I don't know why he can't. It's so weird, man.
Boyle said it too. It's like it's his kryptonite. It is.
Yeah, it's just true.
I don't have an answer for that besides like he either shows up or we have to make that executive decision to try someone new.
Only one way to find out. Let's get him on the pod.
Get him on the pod. Also, Matt P has to be mic'd up for every game this PLL season.
Oh,
every single one.
Sure.
That was amazing.
He took a Romar Dennis 2-pointer to the gonads.
Oh yeah,
and brushed it off.
Didn't even react.
Yeah.
I loved like listening to like the players complain to him. He's like, "Shut up, it's a hole."
Yes,
like,
dude, he's.
I think every game
PLL needs
a must.
He's must watch stupid.
He's the Ed Hockley of the PLL.
It was the highlight, I think, almost every game of just hearing him chirp back at the players, being like, all right.
Honestly, if the PLL did a game with just Matt P's mic as the audio, I'd listen to that over the broadcast.
100%. I don't know. I love Boy.
I do. But
that makes it fun and educational for me, at least for me.
That's true. But he's really good. He's really good about that.
Because when players complain, he explains like what they did wrong and what the rules say.
Exactly. Or he'll say like, "Hey, I let you get away with that in the first quarter, but no more."
He's an honest guy.
Which I can respect.
All right, well, that's all we got for this week. We will probably be back uploading semi-regularly leading up to the draft. We're definitely going to do a mock draft episode at some point.
Yes, mock draft.
For that, we're going to skip over Atlas's first pick just to save some time.
Yeah.
But we will be back soon, hopefully.
We won't sell it. Yeah, I know we won't sell it.
We won't what?
Sell the first pick. Yeah.
Oh, trade it? Or like sell it for money? I'll take the first pick for money.
Well,
sure, buddy.
All right. Well, we appreciate y'all tuning in and we will talk to you next time.
Peace.
Peace out.